Mais uma incrível devlog saindo, e dessa vez em menos de um mês, yeah! Surgiram mais novidades sobre o carro, a última devlog foi sobre o carro e nessa também falaremos sobre ele. Nessa devlog também tem um vídeo mostrando as novidades sobre o carro, o vídeo tá bem longo, bem mais longo do que o anterior, então eu vou procurar não enrolar. Nesse vídeo eu vou fazer da mesma maneira que no vídeo anterior, vou postar aqui o vídeo legendado e logo no final do vídeo eu vou fazer uma análise geral. Muito obrigado ao Matt que passou a madrugada legendando o vídeo para eu estar trazendo aqui para vocês. É isso, aviso rapidão, bora pro vídeo.
Hello. As you can see, it's very snowy now. After the last update, I was wanting to work on tire tracks for the cars, specifically for like mud and grass and snow. So I decided to start working on that, and next thing you know, Calgary is super snowy too. So that might have been a bad idea, but I'm quite happy with how it turns out. But it's cold in here, so let's turn the engine on. Now you can turn the engine on and off. And if we take a look outside, you can see some of the changes to the car that have happened over the last week, or I guess it will last 3 weeks. There's some steam coming out of the car, exhaust, since it's cold out. Bigger trucks will have more exhaust, and you know what to expect. As well as the headlights now, it's they don't go into full bright mode when you turn the car on. There's the daytime running lights, and when you turn the low beams on, that's when you'll notice the other like running lights come on, like your brake lights. And if you hold down the headlight key, you can turn on your high beams. For most of the time, you probably use low beams though. And that goes for the interior stuff too. Like if we turn the headlights on, you can see some of the heads-up display turns on as well. That's the speedometer if we drive around a little bit. I'm thinking of doing a few other things like that too. Specifically the fuel gauge. I'm thinking to put it there in the car so that way passengers can see it. Oh, you can see the hand blending into that. Let's see, what else have I been working on? One change is now you can see the signal arrows inside. This is probably not the most important feature, but I keep talking about it. You can also turn on the hazard lights. Oh, and you probably also noticed that there's the glass in the car now, and it does look quite nice with some of the reflections from certain angles. It's darker when you're looking in from the outside, so it's a bit tinted. You get a good view out still, but you're a little bit obscured. And then maybe some fancy cars will have like fully black rear windows to keep prying eyes away. And you can of course open these. This goes into one of the big things I've been working on was cleaning up a lot of the code from the previous update. One thing with developing the game is you have to make it once to know how to do it properly. So the first version was kind of the messy version, and then I was going through and cleaning everything up. And so one aspect of that was splitting everything up into components. And so I talked last update about how I want to fit like vehicles that you ride on horseback or something into this whole system. And so part of that is making it so that you can selectively choose which pieces of logic you want to use for your different vehicles. So one aspect of that is the pressurization component. So right now that's used for like when the window opens and closes, you can hear the outside audio. But for a vehicle like a submarine, that'll be used to keep the water out, and so you won't be drowning if you're in your submarine and you have all the windows and hatches closed. Although I don't think submarines have windows. I have a couple notes here to keep on track. What was the other? Oh yeah, and then something like seating that was also moved to components. So when you sit down in the car, your character is actually very loosely coupled to the vehicle concept. Instead, you're just registered as sitting, and so then that'll be reused for things like mounted turrets or just like a bed that you can lie down on, or furniture, whatever you build. Let's see. So then driving around with the engine on, you can see that it leaves these nice tracks in the snow, as well as you don't squeal everywhere now. It has the sound of rice falling on plastic is the sound of the kind of gravelly sliding for the snow drifting. This is probably good for the engine. I was holding on the handbrake there, in case that wasn't clear. And you can see that as the snow's... Well, you can't see the snow falling right now because I haven't added that yet, but you can see the snow filling in over time. But the tracks stay around for a good amount of time, and if it wasn't snowing... I mean, obviously it isn't snowing right now, but if snowing were added and it wasn't snowing, then the tracks would just stay there. So we can drive around with that. Oh, and then one of the really cool things about this that I've wanted to do since I added the puddles to Unturned 3 is if we head over here, I just... Whoops. Okay, so there's the collision stuff. There's a bit of a edge there. I just put down this simple road, and so you can see that this cube is stopping the snow from falling onto the road here. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. With Unturned 3, you couldn't interact with anything in the car, because your interact was overridden to just exit. Whereas now, one of the other changes I made was making it so that when you want to get out of the car, you have to actually look at the door. I'll probably have another hotkey for exiting the car. But this means that there could be like the hazard lights button to press it, or tuning the radio, or maybe turning the lights on in the car when it's nighttime. So that's going to open up a lot of other options, especially for cars that like you're walking around, like an RV or something. You want to be able to interact with stuff inside. So now you actually have that option. And also the in and out animations are, let's show that again. Those animations are a lot faster and a little bit more polished now. But we were walking around down here, and we've got the concrete sounds, and this doesn't really look like grass, but before heading back out to the snow, and whoops. Wait, I wonder if I ran out of disk space. That's probably fine. And so this also applies to bases. So if you build a base in Unturned 4, and obviously base building is, but I promise this will be in because this is really cool. If you build a base, you'll see the rain and puddles on the top floor, and the snow, but it won't be inside your base. Same with the tunnels in Unturned 3. If you go in the metro, you see the rain puddles. But now, like, you could collect some snow and then melt it on the roof of your base by collecting it up there. Whoops. I also didn't do the animations for the ignition keys or anything yet, so I still need to do that. For the grass, I did something similar to the snow, but right now the weather transitions aren't in place. That's one thing I want to work on for the next update, so we can start to see, you know how in Unturned 3 it's sort of like Yukon is the snow map and Russia is the autumn map. So right now I'm thinking that there will be certain areas that are like a specific biome, whatever the word is. But instead the seasons will change over the course of the days, and you'll be able to see the snow come down and cover up the trees and everything. Then of course there's the speedometer inside now. Oh, the cat just knocked something off the counter. Let's see. Here's... I talked last update about the collision stuff, and that also works with the interior-exterior audio, so we crash and... but there's also scraping, so if we slide along the edge here... Whoops. Let's just back up a bit to get in this gap. So you can see that there's some effects for collisions and stuff, and if we go really fast into a tree, hopefully... Cross your fingers that we don't break something. But yeah, so there's different collision effects now. I was hoping to have the passenger animation things ready for this preview, but there is still some engine level changes I have to make. That's one of the things that's really exciting about using Unreal instead of Unity, is already like the engine, I've made a whole bunch of changes to better accommodate Unturned, doing things that just I couldn't do with Unity because it's closed source. I know last time I also forgot to go off the ramp, so let's back up here and let's go off this ramp over there. There we go. This hill is also pretty steep, that's why we can't drive up it. You'll need... this car isn't the best at going cross-roading or off-roading. So if we try and go up this hill over here, we'll probably get stuck. It doesn't have very much clearance, as you can see. but something like a 4x4 truck with good suspension would get up there better. Yeah, you can hear the sort of chassis of the car grating against the ground there. I'm not sure if it just makes sparks on snow, but it looks cool. Yeah, so the car's not happy going across that. You don't want to go off-roading in this car. Let me just check my list here. I know I'm a little bit sporadic. Okay, I'll just show you one other thing. If I back up over here, is that now when you're on sloped surfaces, your legs will adapt to the surface. I know a lot of games have this, I just think it's neat to see it in Unturned now. But you can see the leg going up there. But yeah, thanks for tuning in this week. Hope to have more for you soon. And I think this is really starting to get pretty polished-ish for the cars. So I'm hoping to have some sort of vehicle demo. Right now my plan is to strip out some of the stuff that's very work in progress still. Like right now all the animations and clothes still need redoing, so I'm thinking of just trying to get rid of everything that isn't the cars and starting to give it out to a few people, but we'll see what happens with that. We know that my timelines haven't exactly come super true yet. Talk to you next one. Bye-bye.
Vamos para análise. Bom, diferente da devlog anterior, nessa possui um cenário para o Nelson fazer os testes e, por sinal, é um cenário bem bonito, com bastante árvores, um clima bem obscuro e muita neve. Logo no início ele já mostra algumas evoluções que o carro teve em relação à devlog anterior. O carro agora está com um painel onde ele mostra a velocidade e as setas de pisca do carro. Ele também disse que pretende trabalhar melhor na parte interior do carro e na interação dele, como coisas como luz de teto, mostrar gasolina no painel e retrovisores. Inclusive, no vídeo dele ele não mostra, mas o retrovisor já foi adicionado. Acredito eu que esse vídeo tenha sido gravado alguns dias antes de sair a devlog, pois no final da devlog tem essa imagem e nela a gente pode notar um retrovisor no teto. E aproveitando que eu comentei da imagem, a gente pode ver o personagem com uma arma na mão enquanto dirige. Isso quer dizer que agora a gente pode atirar enquanto a gente dirige. Já temos uma grande mudança assim em relação a 3.0. Voltando aqui na parte de fora, agora temos um farol alto e um farol baixo e também o pisca-alerta. Talvez isso seja bom para o modo sobrevivência do jogo, mas também ele é bem útil para roleplays. Ele também mostrou que agora o carro está com vidros e, como eu disse anteriormente sobre a interação do veículo, é possível também abrir o vidro. E quando o vidro abre e fecha, nós podemos notar uma diferença no som. Enquanto o vidro está fechado, o som fica mais abafado e quando ele abre, o som fica normal. São detalhes mínimos, mas que deixam o jogo sensacional. Na movimentação é possível ver os rastros do pneu e também o carro derrapando. Eu acho que isso é foda. Tipo, você vai seguir os carros dos outros jogadores a partir do rastro. Claro, isso quando estiver nevando. Inclusive foi um ponto que ele citou. Nessa versão teremos condições climáticas. Diferente da 3.0, em que os mapas têm sua própria condição climática, aqui vai ser diferente. E em determinados tempos pode nevar, pode chover, fazer sol e etc. E agora, por último, mas não menos importante, agora o personagem pode ficar escorado em superfícies mais inclinadas. Para muitos pode parecer um detalhe bobo, mas como eu disse na devlog anterior, eu curto bastante esses mínimos detalhes. E você, também gosta desses detalhes pequenos que deixam o jogo mais realista? O que você achou da devlog? Deixa aqui nos comentários o que você achou. Eu gosto de ler a opinião de todo mundo e respondo a galera quando tem dúvidas relevantes. Por falar em dúvidas, eu estou pensando em fazer um vídeo respondendo todas as dúvidas sobre a 4.0. Deixa aqui nos comentários o que você acha. É isso, eu espero que tenha gostado. Eu vou ficando por aqui, o vídeo já tá bem longo. Manda o vídeo pros seus amigos e é nóis. Valeu e fui!